Turkish President Erdogan is accusing Saudi Arabia's government of planning for days to commit the, quote, political murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. In a speech to the Turkish parliament earlier, he called Khashoggi's killing savage, but did not provide additional details about the alleged Saudi plot.
Erdogan asked for the 18 suspects in the case to be tried by Turkey. The U.S. sent CIA Director Gina Haspel there to help with the investigation. Here's some of what Erdogan said earlier.
The information and the evidence that we have so far collected indicate that Jamal Khashoggi was slain in a vicious, violent murder. And now there is official acknowledgement that there was a murder. Where is the body? Why do we still not have the body? And now our expectation from them going forward is that all those responsible from the highest degree, highest level to the lowest level will be highlighted, will be brought to justice, and will get the punishment they deserve.
Errol Barnett joins us now from Washington. Errol, can you remind us what the Saudis initially said when Khashoggi first went missing versus what they are now saying?
Yeah, hey there, Vlad and Anne-Marie. What a difference 3 weeks makes, right? That's how long it's been since the news first emerged that Jamal Khashoggi had gone missing. And the Saudi government initially said that he left the consulate of his own will and that they didn't know where he ended up. Fast forward to where we are now, 3 weeks later, and the story is much, much different. That, in fact, he was inside the consulate, got into a bit of an argument with the agents who were interviewing or interrogating him, and that led to his unexpected and accidental death. But the major question that lingers right now and is still unanswered is, if all that is true, then where is Jamal Khashoggi's body? And that's why a lot of the Turkish investigators and the details that the government has released has centered around the Saudi Consul General's home. We know that the investigators have gone there, have collected samples, and perhaps we will have an update here soon. But the difference between 3 weeks ago and today is that Saudi officials initially said he was fine and he left the building, and now we know that he died inside, with still more information to be found out about where his body is.
So soon after Khashoggi's disappearance, there was information leaked about Turkish officials having audio and video recordings of his death inside the consulate in Istanbul. Any verification on that? Is Turkey standing by that claim? I don't think we got a lot of evidence from Erdogan today.
Right, and we certainly haven't heard this evidence either. We've seen it reported in Turkish media outlets, but the U.S. officials have yet to see it. Now, that is why you have the CIA Director Gina Haspel over there in Turkey right now. She doesn't necessarily have to travel across the world for the CIA to get this information. I can tell you they have agents spread out doing covert things all the time, but it sends the signal from the Trump administration. And you heard President Trump recently say that he's not happy with what he's heard so far from the Saudi side, but he wants more information. Even Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, when he went to Turkey and Saudi Arabia last week, came back by saying, let's give the Saudis a few more days until we create or craft a response. Those audio or video recordings, if they exist, will be crucial for the U.S. to investigate and look at and verify before the U.S. takes a response. And you can bet that that's why the CIA director is there now, to at least show that the U.S. is doing everything it can to get its hands on the indisputable evidence here.
Errol, the Turks have been sort of dripping information over the past 3 weeks about exactly what has happened. And the Erdogan speech to Parliament today was supposed to shed a little bit more light, but we really didn't get a whole lot from that. It's understandable why Turkey is sort of playing this sort of reality show game, I guess, because they have some kind of leverage over the Saudis here. But the question, I guess, for you is, have you spoken to anybody from the U.S. State Department who is also wondering why the Saudis are sort of doing it in this way and not just saying, look, here's the information and here's what we know and here's what we don't know?
And I have to apologize to you, Vlad, because I've just lost my IFB, but I've tried to read your lips as good as possible. And
I do have a big mouth, as everybody knows, but I don't know.
If it's along the lines of what are the unanswered questions, I can quickly fill you in on that front. You have a bit of mixed messaging coming out of the White House. Jared Kushner, who we know is in close contact with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and has been for some time, spoke yesterday at a TV network's kind of dialogue event and pushed back on really voicing an opinion on the Saudi denial story. He says that the administration is used to people misleading the government all the time. And he says, he made the point to say that they still, in his mind, has to keep focus of what's best for the American people. And that brings us back to what will the outcome of this be? We know that a lot of leading Republican senators have suggested a whole array of options for President Trump to take, whether it be limiting future arms sales. We know there's that $110 billion arms sale in the works at the moment. You have senators suggesting perhaps we can sanction Saudi individuals who are known to have taken part in this accidental killing, since that's the Saudi story. And they can also push for a UN resolution which criticizes Saudi behavior in this case. All of these options are effectively on the table for President Trump. And over the weekend, he said that this week he will work with Congress in crafting an appropriate response. And we should also say that there is a bit of global consensus and pressure on the U.S. to do something, to not allow a foreign government, whether it be an ally and a crucial ally in the Middle East or not, to get away with intimidation tactics for critical journalists. So you have leading Republicans saying the Saudi government and specifically Mohammed bin Salman cannot be trusted. And you have President Trump saying, I don't like what I've heard so far. But you also have Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin meeting with the Saudi Crown Prince and having apparently a wide-ranging conversation on a number of issues. And we've got a report here saying that Mohammed bin Salman did attend this investment conference where there was a mass exodus of Western executives, but he did not speak. So you have mixed messages coming out of the White House and the CIA director looking for tangible evidence so that a firm U.S. response can now be crafted. Here we are, 3 weeks after the fact.
Errol Barnett, thank you.